Welcome back, guys. If you don't know me, my name is Cinta. Hajime mashite, if you guys do know me. Welcome back, which is in Japanese, or how are you? Welcome. Hajime mashite. Okay, so today I'm sitting where I had my student because on Sundays I generally have students, either online or in person. And this is generally the setup because they just do basic piano classes. And today I've connected, because the other computer's not working, as I said, I've connected my portable equipment. The Logic works, the GarageBand works, and we're going to work off of a track that I had done on GarageBand, which is now transferred into Logic. As you can see, that this is what it is. And we're going to test out a few things as to what can be done on here. We're going to just listen to what I have from GarageBand. You can export GarageBand into Logic once you have Logic, so there are lots you can do. What we're going to do is we're going to test out what key signature it is first. We're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to listen to it. So this is playing. It's on my speaker. It's F minor pentatonic. So there are lots you can do. What we're going to do is we're going to play with the piano on the iPad. So what one needs to remember is, because it is an iPad and it does have all the instruments, in order to make the instruments kind of work for you, I would recommend actually having the actual instrument in front of you before you start recording an idea. Because it's easier to identify on a real instrument what the sounds, I mean, you can find the sounds on here, but you have to experiment first. And in order to experiment to create a concept, you have to use possibly the actual instrument. So this is what we're working on here. Right? And the notes are a little bit smaller. So let's try it again. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning. You guys can see what I'm doing on my hands. And I think the most important thing people need to understand is when you're recording a piece with the loops, you have to identify what key signature it is. Which you need to understand some theory for, right? It's an easy kind of experimental thing with the GarageBand and stuff. I still think the music theory is important. I've put down some music theory. I've talked about this before on some of my other videos, but now I'm getting more in depth with understanding or explaining why you need to understand the theory, because you can't just go in and record a track with all this stuff and then assume that anything's going to work. Let's give an example. Let's say we don't know the scales and I maybe know C major, okay? I would never have picked this up. Just hear this. It's not going to sound right. See how weird it sounds? Versus knowing the key signature this is in, identifying, playing it by ear. okay? You still need to know your I would never have known that if I hadn't known a little bit of theory, okay? Okay, and if you're going to rap over something like this. And then we can find a different instrument. Oh, whoops. Different instrument, drum pad, keyboard, guitar stroke. Okay, let's try another instrument. Let's try. Okay, say you don't know an instrument, okay? You only know one instrument. That instrument may be guitar. Very interesting. What this offers you, Logic. Logic is more in-depth and more detailed, so you can actually refine things from the track that you've created in GarageBand. This was all made on GarageBand and transferred into Logic, okay? It gives you different instruments, drum pad. It gives you the same sound, right? Okay, so because we're on the piano, the piano section. Let's see if we can move. And these are all different instruments. I'm sure if I were to press that, but it's going to record on there. You don't want to do that. You want to do a separate track. So we're on the piano right now, okay? And you can choose freeboard. That's still the piano, okay? But if you understand like a guitar, for instance, and you don't quite understand the piano, you could definitely use a guitar. Okay, which is interesting. Okay, so there's that. So you have to remember, so this is. Okay, so let's try this out. Example. So when you're ready, you can record that. So I suppose you can use that as chords. Let's go back to just piano. Let's say. So let's do those chords, guitar chords. so that's interesting. Okay, so that's basically a general outline of starting. So I'm going to start to record, but I want to experiment first. So we're doing an experimental. Today we're experimenting, okay? So we're testing to see what the possibilities are of how to record on the iPad with Logic Pro and GarageBand recorded pieces, which is what this is. This is originally on GarageBand, where we're in Logic now, using the GarageBand sound to create the track and learning how all of these technical things work together once you start recording. So Apple, who is the creator of the Logic and the GarageBand, came up with Logic to learn the process on a simple perspective, and it's cheap. I mean, unless you don't have like an iPad or Apple devices. GarageBand is the best approach to creating, because with that, look, I'll show you. So with that, you can come up with many more things, but have the first dimension, the first layer down, or the first couple of layers down on GarageBand. I'm not going to do a whole let's record and like put the parts together. We can do that later on. I think today I just want to show you that my portable setup, the portable setup that I have here. Just send that over. That's going through my speaker, that mini speaker. It's a great roll-in speaker. Seems to be, oops, I dropped the pillow. Seems to be a good approach to doing this. Obviously you need to keep pressing this in order to. Let's see another sound. So it just happened that this was in F minor pentatonic. Okay. Definitely F minor pentatonic. So you can see that, you know, I think it's important to have your actual instrument in front of you to use something like this, because it is a small screen. But if you have a few different instruments lying around and you want to pick up and move around, then this is definitely the right approach. Obviously have some sort of mini speaker. So let's try this again. And you could record these. You can press record on there, but I'm not ready for that yet. Okay, and my recommendation, never start with the chords. Put the track down with like the beats in the background and the backdrop and all that stuff, and the loops, but start with a melody. Start with something like, I personally think a melody is a great place to start, like this. And then you can come up with like words. but it's to show that even though something could go wrong in your life, like a computer backs out, my husband is still in the process of fixing it. We got the parts, thank God. So the computer can be repaired. In the meantime, not a problem. Problem is resolved by figuring out what there is lying around and utilizing the materials and supplies you have. You have to start, remember, don't forget, not everybody starts with a computer and a desktop and speakers. I have something like an iPad, which is not as expensive, and they're obviously utilizing that concept of portability into the new venture of travel and all those things, because not everybody's going to be able to walk around with a desktop. So I've established that. One more time, let's listen to it again. And you can pick this up and move it to your... What's nice is literally move it. Oops. I do recommend putting a melody down first. I certainly do not recommend, but yeah, you could literally just like pick it up and move it. I don't recommend using chords first. I do recommend starting with some notes, like basic right-handed notes. No. That's interesting. You could actually, in theory, we don't need that right now. So create a new track. You can create a new track. So let's do, it looks like it's working very similar to, going back to the whole question, it looks like it's working very similar to what it would look like on a desktop. It's just a little bit smaller, but there are a few things I'm learning as I go along. So whatever I'm doing, I'm teaching you guys through the process, because now I cannot use the other one. Thank God I actually do have. So let's do software instruments. Let's do software instruments. Okay, so now we're creating. Okay, so we got to go back to this. So I suppose we have to do actually more advanced stuff you can get into with this is Logic. But let me go back to the beginning. We used GarageBand. Okay. So as an example, so recommendation, start with the GarageBand and then move your way out of GarageBand into Logic Pro. I do recommend that $5 a month, $5 a month for Logic Pro on your iPad. I think the more I think about it as a backup, which is what happened to me, it's a good backup, because, you know, we all panic about like what happens to the computers, because we know computers, they don't always last. So having something like this probably is useful. As I have proven to myself, I'm thinking, oh, it's not going to be necessary. But it clearly is important. This is a great backup. So it was just a quick little class on, just a quick thing on production and Logic and GarageBand and using portable speaker and all that stuff. And even though I have that keyboard that you could actually probably move around, I still need another adapter to connect into the speaker to make that work. However, it is for the iPad. So there are a few things I need to do. There are portability purposes to have it in your iPad as it is, as we've noticed. And that's basically it. So I'm just sitting for today. Thank you for popping through. As you can see, that's the not portable one, and the computer needs to be repaired. And I will be back to talk more about more things at the next couple of days. Sorry, I've been really busy on Facebook. We have challenges now. So the challenges take up like 2 days. I think they're tests. I think those challenges are tests. And Poshmark is picking up again, so I had to give up the TikTok idea in order to generate money back on Poshmark. And for me, at the moment, it seems to work. Facebook and Poshmark are my stabilities, and obviously like my music students. And then it would be nice to have other music students to come in on private sessions. I'll put down my links. I have Fiverr for a reason, just to have the price listings and what I teach and all that stuff. So I haven't, like, it's a new thing. Fiverr for me is like sort of a new thing. I set it up a while ago, but I also know that because of the injury that I have, I'm not going to be going into classrooms anymore. So if you guys want me for classes, I will be doing online classes. And I have not just the music classes, I have graphic design classes, I have photography information classes, I have fashion classes. I've set up like 5 different classes on Fiverr, and I'll put them down at the link below so you guys can see what I have and what I offer. So I'll just continue putting them on the videos in the meantime, and then you can see the Facebook, and then you can see my Poshmark and how they all interlink, because this is like my work is my home space. Okay, this is like my office, but I also live here. So there you have it. Thank you for popping over, and matash sayonara, and I will speak to you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.